Feel like I forgot something. Oh, pants. Well, that's usual. That was the wrong noise. Here's the real one. Aloha, everybody. Welcome to eBay Reseller News Now. I am Primo Chemo, and that is the lady who's doing eBay stuff, also known as the Spam Banshee. Aloha, everybody. Welcome. AJ13 is not late at all. In fact, you were early today. Let's give you an applause for that. Kevin is in the house. Aola. Yeah, you can say, so there's three ways to say, well, aloha is actually a real word from the Hawaiian language, which means hello and goodbye. Ahola is something you call somebody who's had too many tiki drinks. Ahola. And then broloha. You can say that too, which is just kind of like a, hey man, how you doing? Right? And if you're in Hawaii, you can say how's it, which means it's pidgin English for how it is. How's it? But you just say how's it. Kevin, how you been doing? Everybody's, are you working today? Everybody's completely sort of driven into a coma from so much food on a Monday. Christmas, who plans these things out? Who puts Christmas on a Monday? I would like to know. That's my best Jerry Seinfeld I have. So you guys, I hope you all had an excellent, even if you don't celebrate the Christmas, most people get the Christmas off. So if you didn't, I hope you still had a good day. And if you did have Christmas off, I hope it was awesome. I was surrounded by family and friends and loved ones and pets and other high-value Christmas present items. Low-value ones are okay, too. But as we know, the world is trying to sweep away low-value items, including the eBay that we are all so connected to. I'm Great Prumo. That's my new name, Prumo. We are doing great. Thank you very much. We are doing great. We had a great weekend. We made all of our, well, we simplified this year completely and made 2 delicious pies, 2 sweet pies, and 1 savory pie. And the savory pie is a traditional, it's called a, it's not, I don't, yeah, but is it Quebec? Is it, it's not a Canadian meat pie. I think it's technically a Quebec meat pie called a torture. And it's a delicious pie with a bunch of meat in it. And you make, the crust is out of butter, so that mixes with the meat to make a much more delectable mush mouth. So anyway, the pie, you had to use with a few times we actually used our food processor. You have to like chop up the butter so it's evenly spread through the thing. Anyway, it was delicious, I just got to say. And the 2 sweet pies were chocolat and pumpkin. I don't know if those are the proper French Canadian pronunciations, but that's what we had. Aloha from Oak Ridge, Tennessee. We're going to give you the first air horn of the day. Life of a Reseller is here from Australia. You know, I can tell. Good day. This is good day. And is also part of the, I think Life of a Reseller is part of the Octopod conglomeration of eBay-a-thon-ness in the land down under. I know what I'm talking about, actually. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Thank you very much, Matt Marg. Appreciate that. And to you as well, and to all of those who are joining us today. Happy New Year. We're done with the first part of the of the duality here, and then now we're moving on to the final end of the year where everything changes, and yet some things don't change at all. And I think that basically I tried to put a little. I was trying to do a little clickbait, as I like to do in my little thumbnails, but realistically, I'm just thinking today, boy, what the heck to say about next year? Well, we really have no idea what's going to happen next year. But I will say this. I'm going to start off the year on a positive note and say thank you. I'm going to thank eBay. I'm going to thank eBay for giving me an awesome lifestyle for the past 24 years. I am going to thank eBay for totally screwing me this year and making me snap out of my obviously I was way too comfortable making a lot of money and enjoying life that eBay had to come in and squash that. With that said, we did notice a 50% drop in income this year, but it's not as devastating as that could be. It isn't, because for the last 6 months since we had the troubles, since the troubles began, ours began in June, our half income has remained remarkably steady. So, and I have not, and for the most second part of the fourth quarter, I have not been, the whole point was to figure out if I could exist on eBay without succumbing to full advertising, just letting them have their way with my wallet. And so far, the bottom line is yes. So we've maintained the income we've maintained the income without listing a lot of the items that we have that we could throw at a problem like losing income, which is high value items. And without losing those, we have hit a bottom. We have hit the floor, and I'm pretty sure we can maintain that. I'm hoping that this, as we go into the new year, that yes, we dropped by a half, but we've maintained that half with no promotions. So now the question is, if we increase our volume, if we increase our inventory with the same items by double, will that then raise my income to the pre-disaster levels? And we can survive on the post-disaster levels, barely, but we can survive, but we can't really put anything away for the future, whatnot. But, with that said, thank you, eBay, for keeping us, with a house. Did eBay buy us this house? Pretty much, kind of, huh? I mean, yeah, we had to work. We worked different things to pay for it, but at the same time, it kind of did. Sort of kind of did. So I'm going to thank them for that. 6x6 is in the house! Yeah, Kevin, I mean, the consistency is scary, almost planned. And when I read, even when I read that statement by you, conspiracy, eBay had to change. They felt that they had to change. They changed. I think that it could have been worse. It could have been way worse, right? They could have taken away all of our money. And then where would we be? Then we would have been really sad. But considering the fact that they felt they had to change, and I guess they did, to keep the business solvent, 2024 looks kind of promising, I think, because I was able to, and I'll speak just for me, of course. I hit the floor. So that floor presented itself, and I was able to maintain the floor without promoting at all. So what that makes me feel is that I potentially could double my inventory with very, very like inventory. So basically small vintage computer parts, 45 records, comic books, the ungraded comic books, not high-end comic books, ungraded comic books. And what else do we sell? Something else. Music of all sorts. So like for CDs, when you can go into a store that sells CDs for $1 to 25 cents to $1. And not only can you buy a whole bunch of CDs that are actually worth, I like to buy things that are worth $20, $15, $20. but you can kind of pick those out. I mean, I guess there's ways to get better at that and to take your phone and scan the barcodes and stuff. But all in all, you most certainly can turn $1 into $25 with CDs. Also, I only sell like nice quality CDs. The quality is probably the most important thing. So I would never pick up CDs that were heavily scratched or anything. I don't know why I'm talking about CDs, except for I'm talking about this whole year has been an experiment. The first thing was we were trying to, really maintain eBay as a full-time business. I've sold on it for 24 years, has been my primary income multiple years in a row, but for sure the past 3 years, we've been trying to make it. And we sold a whole bunch of the first 2 years of the pandemic. We sold, are you going to bonk me on the head in case I say something weird? She's going to take me out. She doesn't have time. We don't have a, red button. What do you call the button that turns back the clock 7 seconds on radio? The delay button. She's got her own personal delay button there. She just bashes my brains in. I don't think I'm going to.
This is insane.
What happened?
So this?
Yeah. That's the delay button.
Found on the side of the road?
Yeah, that was superstar eBay expert Eagle Eye Primo. Just some old disposed of iron pans. But I know my iron pans when I see them.
Someone is currently selling this very one on eBay for auction with a starting bid of $125.
Yeah, it's garbage. I sell street garbage for lots of money. That's what I do. So 6x6 says oh, Jack, welcome Jack. Sorry, Jack. I was just trying to catch up with everybody here. Oh, Patricia's here too. Welcome Patricia and Jack. And Kevin, Stoic Resellers in the house. 6x6 Primo not watching alone today. Could you please shout out Miss Merritt? Aloha, Miss Merritt. Welcome to the show. Thank you very much for taking some time out and joining us while we talk about the terrible things that eBay is and the great things that eBay was. No, wrong. The terrible thing that eBay was. I don't know. eBay's great and bad. That's what I'm trying to say. It's just way too odd with all the variables. My stats are so consistent week to week. It's just abnormal. So I couldn't tell if you are being serious or not, Kevin, but you are being serious about how stable the instability is and how after 6 months of doing the stable instability, I've come to the conclusion that that this is the bottom. I think it's the floor. What do you call it? The floor? The bottom? The floor is going to fall out from underneath you? I think it's the floor. It's the floor for me. It's the floor for me with my 5 highest selling categories: music, vintage computing parts, and comic books, and something else. So, I mean, and again, those are most of our items, 80% of our items are those free, zero insertion free items. They're in those categories. So I don't think that's going to change. I think we're stable. I think we've hit the floor, and our next move is to double our inventory with like items. Jack says was watching our video when he looked over at the feed and saw this happening. Well, thank you very much. You can put baby in the corner. That's fine. Primo, I've been selling CDs for a while, but not a lot. Bought 1,000 from a former Memphis guy's estate for $100 a month ago. Just quality. The 3 to 6 ones went to my booth. Yeah, I mean so CDs are. I mean, I would buy CDs over massagers. I'm pretty sure if I wanted to. Is that you're gonna hit me with the pan? Don't hit me with the pan. Get it out. Bonk. We don't have a bonk button. That's sort of a bonk. Yeah, so CDs is always a solid thing, although 90% of CDs are junk. So but there's plenty of good ones. I'll just tell you for an instance, we went to our thrift store, which was blowing them out for 25 cents. And I went through and I think we bought maybe 50 CDs, and half a dozen of them were $60 plus CDs. Martha and the Muffins, interestingly, a couple of what's the music called when it's with the violins and stuff? Classical. There was some classical music CDs which sold for a lot. I was kind of surprised. And what's really hot right now, I mean, when I say really hot, I mean, I like to consider myself a tastemaker. So last year when we went out, I was like, buy all the rave CDs you can. Fine. Because rave is now Y2K. It's before Y2K. It's 90s. So I'm figuring that old rave music is going to be hot. And I bought a few dozen of them, and they all sold for like $25 to $35. So I was right. No one told me. I just guessed. But I'm going to take credit for rave CDs from 30 years ago. Wait, honk, honk, honk. Big dog in the house. Welcome, big dog. Or are you just B dog, or are you big dog? Because maybe there's an A dog. You're B. It's okay. We need Bs. Or maybe your name starts with a B. These are all questions we could be asking. Jack says he used to use Discog app to scan CDs, and as they are the best true price you can find. If you see blues, punk, etc., that have no barcode, that's great. Yes, it is true. Like sometimes you can get some of the old, like straight edge stuff, Minor Threat, things like that. They don't have barcodes on them, but also that gets you into the bootleg section. So be very careful if you're selling things without barcodes, because it could potentially be bootleg. I think Stoic Reseller is saying that eBay sales numbers are too consistent versus saying a brick and mortar. That's a good. This was good as I used it to my advantage. Yes, and that's what we've been noticing too, is how steady it is. It's steady. They chopped off our heads, but then they kept it steady, so steady that we haven't for the past 6 months. I mean, we've definitely gone through periods of listing consistently. Listing consistency seems to have nothing to do with anything anymore. If it ever did, it's kind of always been like kind of an open question. But for sure, if you list 10 items a day and one of those 10 items sells, it's because you're listing and getting that first day boost that brings more traffic to your store, more organic traffic to your store, which is why listing consistently should work, but it doesn't seem to do anything anymore. 6x6 saying that, oh, very happy 4-year-old. She only asked for a little cha-ching. Yeah, well, okay, I'll keep my potty mouth dialed back. I try all the time. In fact, I have never technically sworn on my channel, although there was some swearing on the last live show with Maria was getting her sailor mouth was still engaged a little bit, but she hasn't been doing a lot of lives, so she's not used to it. But I thought it was hysterical. We did leave it up there with in case don't watch that one. It says there's swears. Stoic is saying, I hope it is the floor. I have a lot of positivity for 2024. I do too. Well, one of the main reasons is I feel that there is a floor. So we spent half of this year in sort of limbo. Oh, Darth Thrifter's in the house. I do think it's the floor. I hope eBay looks at their numbers and realizes the issues. Well, they're going to look at numbers. I'm already ready for February whenever the last quarter numbers come out. And I sort of was hoping that there would be a lot of pushback from Q3 numbers, and there wasn't. So I'm not expecting too much from the Q4 numbers, but at some point the investors are going to be saying, shouldn't we have more buyers? Wait, shouldn't we have more buyers? I don't understand math. So eventually it should be. I used to sell $1,300 a month off of every 10,000 I listed was consistent as heck with a 10% variable either way. Now I'm selling 400 with 10,000 worth of items and have tested every month. I am having, well, I don't have the exact same, no, they halved our income, and then the consistency is, yeah, around 10%. So our number, which I mean, I can someday. If somebody really wants to know our numbers, I'm still not gonna tell you because I don't want to. My mom told me not to share numbers. So I have shown it, so you could go look if you really wanted to. But the 10% variable in either direction where it could be down. I think maybe ours was maybe 15, almost 20%. But yeah, it's definitely, it seems to stick. It seems to be a consistent with a little bit of leeway in either direction, but it's really sticking. It's really sticking now. We're not jumping up or jumping down too much, which is nice. I mean, it's a positive thing to look at. If eBay was capable, Patricia, hi Patricia, if eBay was capable of dialing us down 50%, I wonder if they have levers to raise or lower sales incrementally. Well, so my thought process on that, which I was thinking that it is a big airplane thruster. You know how they have all 4 engines and God knows what connected to the thruster? It's not just one stick. You're operating like 4 different things with a thruster. So with eBay, I think they throttled our sales back. Some of us in certain categories, I don't know what, certain sellers are saying they've had the best years ever, which I most certainly can imagine to be true, but it's just not, the category shifted, the prices shifted. There's a lot of reasons why some people would be enjoying great sales. But from what I can tell, it's like more of an everything seller that has enjoyed great sales, while those of us who are in niches have noticed the turmoil more. That's what I think personally. And they were able to dial us back. I mean, they most certainly can throttle us because they throttled us. They throttle us for a number of items we can sell and how much we can sell. So if they have that lever, so say you have on eBay, you're allowed to sell $2,000 a month for 200,000 items. Well, the second you hit 200,000, they can stop you from selling. So they have all the tools. They have the tools there. Be tizzle for shizzle. Kevin says, Patricia, yeah, they can, absolutely. Anomaly in September where impressions and page views were about 500% the normal. Okay. I wonder what specifically did that, or you know how my page views dropped off in mid-December. The impressions stayed the same. Page views dropped by about 30%. Sales did not drop. Page views dropped only. So, and since I don't get paid for page views, I'm not mad at it, but it most certainly is. It's just showing they're consistently messing with the numbers through absolute manipulation and throttling, both up and down. I'm sure they have the ability to do that for sure. And it's all part of pushing their promoted listings agenda. So yes, aloha again, Darth Thrifter. Hate to say it, but I believe that my ceiling is only so high on eBay with what I sell. Thus, I'm finding other markets will make me happy. Yeah, Jack, I really do always feel like you have such a specific, at least with one of the products you sell, they're very specific, and I don't think young people buy them. So you have some contention there. What was I talking about earlier today? And I'm like, it was the comment. I don't remember who said it, but last week I said we have about 10,000 books. They're all horror. They're from a movie professor, and it's his entire library, and he is a film studies professor, and his focus was horror films. So the items are very, very good just on surface. And we've done a test where we've listed a certain amount, and we sell about 20% or so over a 3-month period. There's a lot of variables in there, but good. They're selling well. And somebody said, well, you better get those up quick because in the next 5 years, all my customers are going to be dead, and young people don't know how to read. And it made me laugh. And I think there's, I think time, like the difference between our parents' generation, Gen X are here, Gen X. Between my mother was sort of like a hippie from the 60s, Beatles, Beach Boys, that kind of stuff. And when I was growing up in the 80s, I was still listening to the Beatles and the Beach Boys. So there wasn't all this technology to make the gap, the generation gap as big as it was for her parents to her. And then from Gen X and slightly younger than us now, your kids are just different. I mean, they're very different with technologies growing up with iPads and stuff. We grew up with Apple IIs. That didn't make that wasn't a big evolutionary step. But being born with an iPad in your mouth, that definitely changed it. So I don't think people, the next generations are going to be looking at things the same way. But that's just how I feel about it. So I better get the books listed, is what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying about that. Everyone's still going to love, in the future, love Pokemon and Ataris, and I think. Let's see. Starting a new platform must be very humbling. Proves we must be able to adapt, keep us on our toes. That was Kevin saying that to Jack, and Jack is leading the way on at least one of the platforms, which I'm not even willing to do yet. I'm waiting to see how Jack fares on that. I'd like to see, and I'd like to see some new platforms for the items that are sort of being shown the door from eBay, so to speak, or yeah. I mean, I don't know any other way to say that. Patricia says, Jack says, so with the pushback, there are 18 million sellers. It will take a while for that many to figure out that they're being messed with. Not everybody watches YouTube. Very few people, I would guess, watch YouTube. And that's how you came up with that fake number that 80% of people of sellers liked promoted listings. I mean, how could one person like promoted listings if they know what they're talking about? I mean, why would you want to pay for promoted listings for something you didn't have to before? Why would you like it if you didn't used to have to pay for it? And now you do. So anyway, that's just silly. Patricia says, Jack, I agree, throttling sales to push PL. But at some point, there's a break even for eBay. Lower sales, absolutely. And I think that's what they're trying to find, is where that point is. What do you call it? The fulcrum? No, it's not a fulcrum. It's like an inflection point. It's like a point where you inflect or you reflect. You do some flexion on it. You flect. It's a flect point. What? Wait, I'm not there yet. I'm trying to read in order. You want me to jump ahead, and then I can't scroll back up, and then... Wait, you're supposed to be listing. You have to have 50 things done by the time I'm done with this show, or I can't get off of the show. That's how we decide when it's time to end. Hold on. Okay, throttling the sales, chemo. So will they go... Primo chemo. So my sales are down. Why? Not changing. What does promotion thing do? This, I'm still down. F word. This could take 2 years for everyone to figure it out. Yes, it could. And in that time, I'm certainly not going to stop checking out new platforms, new ways to sell items. I'm going to focus, because I've had what I consider a success in finding a floor on eBay. I'm going to make the assumption that it is the floor and try the double the inventory with like items scenario for the first 2 months of 2024. We have 2,000 items. So if we tried to list 1,000 items a month, it'd probably be 3 months technically, because I don't think there's any way we could do 1,000 items a month. Could we? We have, though. We've had 50 item days and maybe even close to 100 item days before. But like if we're doing 45 records, but books are like all individual, like everything's so individual. So anyway, we're going to try for the first 3 months. I'll give us 3 months. count them, to get to 4,000 items listed. And we usually historically have great sales in January, February. Then March, April, May is mushy, but I think through March we usually have pretty decent sales. So that's what we're looking at right now. A Daily Coin says, I see Flippin' Ain't Easy video about you and my friend Hafer Sales. Man, that not okay. Oh. Well, I'm not going to comment on that. But, yeah, sometimes there's people talk about other people on the YouTube. Jack says he would love eBay to be what it was, with me and eBay making money off my business. Yeah. Yeah, well, it's, I think we can safely say that it's not going to be exactly that again, Jack. I don't know if they're going to I don't know if they're going to I don't know if anything is going to show up that's going to be the old eBay, which was essentially the global garage sale. That's what it was. That's what it was called. That's what it was. Now they want to be a real, or at least more close to a real. So then we have to find out if for instance, District. And I let me ask you this, Jack, since you're here, and I don't see Hey Sells. He's not in the house. I don't. I don't see Hey Froze, but what was I going to ask? So I've noticed that people aren't, at least I'm noting Dibdit, and another District Marketplace are not referring to District.net directly. Would it be fair for me to assume that District.net is not the place where everyone's going? They're going to didbit.com, and that's being so. Let me Mo Better asked the question like this: Shopify is a store program app, and you can just plug it right into your website. It just says your website, everything. Or you could do it on Shopify. They give you a place to park it if you don't have your own website. Can I assume that that's what District is going to be? You're not really going to go to District.net. You're just going to go to your own website that's going to have the District built into it, sort of like Shopify. That's a question I came up with this weekend. Yes. Patricia says, Jack, I agree. Throttling sales to push PL. Oh, wait, I already read that. Sorry. Because I see the F word there. Darth Thrifter says, Jack, there will be a lot of people like me that just starting selling this year and grew up with eBay of now. We never knew any better, so everything feels great. My sales are great versus expectations. They are. Okay, well, yay. I like hearing positive things. And since we've been here for so long, we've been through it all. So, I mean, from basically people can, send you pennies in the mail, and then you send them rocks. I mean, it was a different world when eBay first started, and everybody had to try every angle to pull every string and everything. So, here we are at the place we're at. Again, the floor. I should put that in the title, because have we found our floor? I feel like we found our floor, which makes me feel comfortable. Darth Thrifter just started selling, so he feels good. So we got to increase the amount of positivity around here, because I don't know, a lot of us aren't going to be changing. It did a little bit. Yay. Jack says Daily Coin, to Daily Coin, he challenged me to come on his show where he would want to control the narrative. He hid my questions to him instead of answering them. He's about views and clickbait. Yeah, okay. So you can say that. I don't want to get mired into anything. I think everybody has everybody that I watch, and I refer to Flipping Ain't Easy, is listed in my comments. Or not comments, but on the info thing of the video, because I have found some good information. If only if only, I don't really take direct teaching knowledge from a lot of YouTubers because I have my own already all figured out. But what I like is the conversation, and I've often felt like he's added to the conversation that I have, and so has Josh Galt and Hayfroze and James, my boring reseller life. So I keep them in my thing. If I get sick of somebody, I guess I'll take him out of my thing. By the way, I always put them down there, and then I'm like, well, should I be giving them credit every single video I do? But yeah, because they gave me some stability when I came on board looking for answers. Like, what the heck is happening in June? They're typing. 6x6 feels like views can be skewed when considering external search. If Google provides general search support, you aren't going to get the page views with direct organic buys. I don't believe the numbers. So that's also kind of a new thing. I don't buy the numbers. I think some of the numbers are okay, but if they can manipulate the numbers to make them make you want to purchase more promoted listings, then that's what they do. That's my general idea. And I do not believe the little on your overview page, and it shows you your sales, and then it just says like uptick of 2.6%, 12%, down 10%. I don't believe that number at all. And I haven't taken the time to, it's supposedly measuring it against a month ago. I just don't buy it. I just don't want to buy it. I'm not going to buy that for $1. Nope, can't make me. Trina's Wheelchair, welcome. Josh and John are a horrible businessmen. Oh, dear. I mean, you guys, plus the Canadian one is clearly on drugs. I don't know, Trina, if everybody's eating gummies all over the U.S. now. I mean, we all need gummies. If you're selling on eBay, you probably should have a big bag of gummies right over there. I don't agree about Josh and John being horrible businessmen. I think that we're all trying to make our way down the path, and we have different. One of the blessings of eBay is that we can do it our own way. It's like Burger King. You have it your own way at eBay now. Flipping ain't easy. Welcome. Oh, I didn't. Okay. I'm not down at the bottom. Holy cow. I can't keep up with all these. Okay. So I'm reading stuff and then I'll scroll down to the bottom. I have not a problem with discussions in the open. I like Primo, so I dropped in to see all this. Well, welcome, John, very much. Yeah. No, I enjoy, I think that people who discuss things openly, that's the way we get through these things. And sometimes people have negative, sometimes the discussion gets heated. Sometimes the discussion veers off course from trying to be helpful to trying to be not helpful in multiple ways. So generally speaking, I think anybody who's talking is doing a good service. And especially if you're getting out your airing grievances is okay, but being personal about the grievances or directing anger towards a person, when really our general malaise is with eBay platform, and not getting those things mixed up, because it's very easy. Some people are trying very hard to keep their businesses grounded. Some people have been hit with a bomb and trying to pick up the pieces. And some people are trying to hold on. And some people are doing very well this year compared to last year. And this is all because eBay is such a large swimming pool for us all to play in. And hopefully some of us are having fun doing it. I most certainly... I very much tried to think about how I'm not doing anything else. You're not doing anything else. So the eBay is our gig. Perhaps other platforms are our gig too. But in general, thank you, eBay, for just being there. You're making it hard to love you. But yeah. Freya, welcome to the party, Freya. I jumped ahead. Oh, I jumped over Soda City Flips. I hope this doesn't devolve into, something gross. Oh, but I want you guys to know that I really appreciate all of your input. So, Jack, I do appreciate, the input that you've given. And John, I most certainly appreciate yours as well. And John does John does more teaching pieces, a little more teaching pieces. What? I have no idea. There's so many words here. Okay, Daniel, just a question. But what was my most memorable sale of 2023? How I wish to. Okay, so what would that be? Well, we did sell pieces of the. Actually, I have a couple of videos that I've shot before I even started doing YouTube more recently. I've done it for quite a few years lives, and we've made vacation videos, which are fun. Go check those out. By the way, subscribe and like this if you like the content. And this year we started filming these like packaging with Primo because that seemed to be what people wanted to see on YouTube. This is before I just went on live and started talking for an hour, which people like apparently. They wanted to learn specifics about packaging difficult items. So we sold our pieces of the Woodstock 99 wall, which we went to Woodstock 99 and the walls came down and then people just started taking pieces of the wall. And none of us had tools to cut. So we just had these two huge pieces of plywood that I literally ripped chunks out of the wall, and people are just ripping them with their hands. And I had to send that. Actually, it was the same guy ended up buying them in the UK, and those went for, they were maybe like 2 feet by 1 foot type pieces, painted with just chunks of whatever was painted on the overall wall. And they ended up buying 2 pieces for like $700 and $800 or something. Oh, and then we went into her closet and pulled out the Patagonia puffer coat that was purple from 1994. That ended up selling for $1,800 in like one day. We were that's probably like the top Patagonia item that the most expensive. No, I don't know if it is. I think it is the most expensive Patagonia item. And some of the older Patagonia stuff is worth a lot. So I would say both value and the fact that we were giving up these items from our past, we're just like, we have too much stuff. So, check this out. So maybe you guys are wondering what specifically our house looks like. So this like little thing, this thing looks pretty, like, it looks okay put together, right? It looks like, it's tweet. And so I took 2 pictures here so you can see. So right that direction right here, you will see this. So if you can see the chair way back there, that's the chair I'm sitting in right now. So you can see that this is this is all items with the exception of a few of these white boxes. Well, you can't see the white boxes. This isn't showing the whole picture. You need to see the whole picture. There you go. Okay, now it shows more. These white boxes over here to the right that say they're on eBay. So those are 45 records and then some comic books. Other than that, everything else is not on eBay yet. So, and this is just looking down. This is like part of our living room looking into my office. And that's how we live. And then this is another one from a different angle. So you can see right above my head, right here, you can see the TV. That's the TV I'm looking at. So that's my desk. And all the junk above my desk is stuff I don't sell because I like to look at it. And then this is a big pile in our living room right here. So that whole chunk of the living room is filled up with stuff we're supposed to be selling on eBay and haven't yet. And this is all Commodore 64s and Apple old Macintosh computers, ColecoVisions, video game systems, turntables, stereo equipment, art stuff. So I said it took us a year to get this all together. So everything's now in bins, organized, all ready to be consolidated and sold. So anywho, I thought maybe you'd enjoy that. Here, look at this picture again, because this one looks like you're going in the Death Star down the. Anyway, so now we've got too many, so many. Okay. Soda City Flip says, "What's good, y'all? How's everybody doing? Merry Christmas." Okay, I know I said hello, but I'm gonna say hello again. What's that? Oh, you want me to go big or go home? Boom. Gravity Good says, "It's my 2 LME to me district. Join our community." Oh, multi-level marketing to me, Gravity Good says. "And we will make a percentage of fees." I mean, everybody's going to make money. I think it's a really good system set up for right now. It's really good for creators who can bring their audience. But there's a big question for me about, until it gets to a certain point, that it's basically resellers selling to other resellers. I mean, I don't really, it's going to make it. It's just, it takes some time before I don't have the patience, energy, wherewithal to put a ton of time into it until it gets just a little further down the road. Then will I be too late? I don't think so, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. That's just how I'm thinking about it right now. Let's see. Okay, I did answer the question, which I'm not sure that those are our, like, those are like those were good sales. I'm trying to think of something that, and I guess that's what a good sale is, because ultimately I'm one of those turkeys that just, I don't really want to sell anything. Like, everything that I sell, I like. I mean, most everything I sell. And that's a benefit of being an anything seller, because I don't need to sell. I don't want to sell stuff I don't like. I mean, I want to sell stuff I don't like, but I hate selling stuff I like, which is almost everything I sell. Let's see what else. Oh, that's my marking. He did. That's so silly. Gravity Goods, not going to use District like ever. I don't know. I think it's got some really good stuff. Did you guys watch the Trash to Cash live 8-hour sellathon? All your boys were up in there. There was a J Ride Flips was in there selling weird stuff. He was selling cassettes. Okay. I love the kid, but I'm going to just come to him from the kid point of view. He was selling cassette tapes. This is very sweet. And also, how dare you, kid? And he had cassette tapes and he was selling them. And he was like, "There's some weird brown goo on this one cassette tape." And you know how cassette tapes they were in the center of your car, so they got weird goo on them. And it wouldn't open because of the goo. And he's like, "I don't want to break this. I don't understand how to open the cassette tapes." The children. Are you serious? The children. They're puzzling. So I thought that was hilarious. But the bottom line was that they did an entire dibdit broadcast. I'm still kind of confused what's a didbit, what's district, how it's all working. But they did an 8-hour or longer marathon. Every half hour, a new person came on to do live auctioning, selling stuff. So they went through a lot of resellers. I thought it was great, and I was very excited for the future. I appreciate the Trailblazers. Hayfro Pop Culture is over there. He's got his own store. I recommend him because I know him, and so working with him would be easy. I don't know, other people. The Crazy Lamp Lady has her own marketplace over there. So the question, again, I don't know if someone answered it, but is it not going to be district.net? So that's why it's not important to find that. You go to dibdit.com and it shows you the whole district presentation. And so that means they have live auctions, they have community posting, they have other social media things that if it does work out in the future, it's going to be pretty awesome thing.
Did you see that Julie had asked
No.
was the nuclear reset going?
Aloha, Julie. I haven't even seen her comment yet. So the nuclear reset is still performing exactly as it always has been, giving me a super organic promotion on the first day, because it's always a first day. On December 7th, they lowered just the entire quantity of page views across the board in my site. Everything is 0% promoted. They dropped the page views by 30%, which did not affect sales. So, which makes me and anybody else really thinking about it say, well, then what do impressions mean? What do page view mean? What high sell-through rate items? You remember we had a young guy on here a few weeks ago who was talking about the fact that he has way less page views than I and sells more items. And that's because he's using high sell-through rate items, which is not my my deal. Hey, with the monkeys. Oh man, I'm way behind. But yes, James is here. And that was before I saw John came in here for a second. What happened? They didn't get the doggy? No. Well, we are happy that Stu has a good home after being abandoned, and James would have provided a very good home, but what's important is that Stu has a good home. So, yay for Stu. John saying, "Oh, so much hate and crap talkers in this space." Yeah, I mean, we are all. I think we're just feeling the pain. So we, I'm not completely. I mean, I've lashed out. I don't sometimes just don't know what's happening, but most certainly, it's very important to keep your brain refreshed with positivity, and the future is hopeful and things like that. Otherwise, this kind of environment gets very heavy. And if we're all going to be resellers next year, we might as well just get used to it all right now, because it's almost next year. Soda City said everybody's saying yay for John. Yeah, yay for John. Yay for Jack and John and Hey Froze. Yay for everybody. That's my thing. Darth Thrifter says most YouTuber streams are background noise while I work. I rewatch later because hard to watch, and them all live since I work 40 hours a week at a real job. Yes. And I think that's that's why, I mean, thank you all for watching me for the past actually it's about 2 months now. And that's how I started doing YouTube. I had something to say, which specifically originally was about the whole, what's the thing called? With the guy and the thing. Daily refinement happenings, and how that was, that wasn't the first thing to blow up in my face about eBay, but that was the one where I was like, somebody came on, says there's a whole bunch of bad stuff happening, won't say what it is. The guy who's doing the bad stuff, we know something bad happened to him, so I really want to know, because I'm a reseller. A, I don't want to walk into the quicksand. B, I want to know what the heck is, happening, so I can understand the business environment around me. And D, I don't remember D. So yeah, I mean, and I was critical of daily refinement in the sense that I wanted him to come on, and he took like a week to come on and say anything, and I felt it was important for him to come on. But that's all. I have no problem with this. Oh wait, I like Primo, so I dropped in here to see all this. Yes, thank you, John. Appreciate that. I can't believe how far down I went there and then went up, and there's still so many questions. Oh, I think I'm getting to the bottom now. I'm gonna, Jack and John, you guys can talk to each other. John's gone now. Oh, okay, John left. Okay. I'm using eBay as advertising to lead. I mean, Jack is doing some interesting things, and I think that's great. Darth Thrifter said, flipping, I agree. While it might suck, there's no other place that gives me the opportunity or number of buyers eBay has to offer. And that's the bottom line. I don't think any other platform can offer that. It's not even close. it's not only is it not even close, it's not even, what's another word for close? Similar. It's not even similar. It's not similar, man. It's the eBay is the big dog. I mean, I'm not, no. So, but would I like to see secondary platforms pop up? Sure. Am I going to put a lot of time into them? Not yet. I think that while some people, I think that it's real safe to go to Mercari and Poshmark. I don't know if my time would be worth it going to those, considering the items I sell, because Poshmark is clothing, which we're not selling, and Mercari is everything, but doesn't have the draw of eBay for collectibles. So I'm going to agree with there is no other marketplace but eBay. And there are hobby marketplaces which are on the rise, and of course Whatnot is a thing, but I'm not into the sell fast for less money. That's not our thing. So we have top quality collectibles, which I want top quality price. If I wanted to get rid of, sort of medium to high quality things more quickly, sure, go to Whatnot, have auctions. I would love to have auctions, but auctions in general give you a more items sold for less money result. That's what auctions do. And a lot of anxiety. Are you actually going to make the money that you want? Yeah, auctions are anxiety. I mean, even buying at auctions, we used to go with, big piles of money and realize that we had to spend this money in order to make money. And then you're bidding on like a $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 item. It sells for 10. You got to put 2,000 into it. So will I spend 6 to then spend 3 to make 1? And the answer is yeah, usually. So that happened. Life of resellers. Oh, that would be first. Stoic says those that believe promoted listings are the only way are just used to that feeling. That's their business, but people really need to understand their own numbers. Yes, and the bottom line in promoted listings, I still feel like you're going to find that they're not effective in the way you want them to be. In general, promoted listings are not effective in the way you want them to be. And because of that, are generally not worth what you pay for them. But that's not to say that, like right now, I see promoting at 2.5% to be smart. I'm not going to promote. I'm not doing promoted listings at all as part of my experimentation. And that's going to go into 2024 unless they mess with me more. But generally so that I can double my inventory and see if that makes a proper or a positive effect to my sales in store. You own them too. They're ours, but I'm just saying mine because technically I bought everything. You're just busy reading the comments. My Darth Thrifter says my risk is less than most since I have a full-time paycheck. Yes. Well, and what I consider our position to be less risky currently, because we don't need to buy things in order to sell them. So we have an insane inventory. And what I showed you here was the stuff in our house. And so we have offsite place too, and there's more in our house. When you say we live eBay as our lifestyle, I mean, like we literally live in eBay. Jack says, I have a feeling eBay will raise the minimum percentage of promoted to 5% next year. They're going to raise it for sure. Stoic says, I'm a huge fan of understanding exactly what you're paying for it. Oh, shouldn't everybody be, Kevin? That's just it. That's what always rang true. Now, it's funny that I also talk about having ADHD, and then on Friday or the other day, it was like, do we all, just to be an eBay reseller, do you have like are you on the ADHD spectrum? I'm pretty sure we do. And one of the things that always rings my ADHD thing is like, that doesn't make any sense. If I give you this and you don't give me that, what about this and that the thing with the who, the how? And I need to know my level of ADHD is like being a 2-year-old saying, like a 2-year-old just keeps asking the same question and then over and over and over, like, but why, but why, but why? So you give them the answer, but then I need to go one layer deeper. So I keep doing that, and I come up with promoted listings do nothing. So I did I finish saying that 2.5%, if you promote at 2%, 2.5, just to make it a little more than the 2, your stuff shows up in the crummy, what we call, Biff Boffo calls the crummy impressions, but they show up below other people's listings in the similar items box. If you do not promote at all, they do not show up in those boxes. And if there's one thing we know, how annoying those boxes are on your listings that show other people's similar listings, I feel like I want to be shown there. So that would be 2% would get you shown on those. So there's the one thing about promoted listings that actually makes sense. You pay 2%, and then you're shown in a different location that is made for people who pay 2% or more, who pay money. That's what we need. I pay you money, you do this thing, and you can show me what's done. That makes sense. Moronic Pest is here. Welcome. Hold on, I can't hear you yet. There's still applause from Moronic Pest. Okay.
I did very well this past month, but my main category is vintage toys. Only 2% of my items are promoted. And the main category, vintage toys.
Yeah, vintage toys, there's no way you're gonna, those are, they're not necessarily high, well, I don't really even know high sell-through rate versus, I know that if you have old G.I. Joe stuff, it's gonna sell. Is it gonna sell right away? That's the question. It's 100% gonna sell for a lot, but is it going to sell immediately? Actually, in vintage toys, if you're talking Evel Knievel, 1970s toys right now, you can't keep those in stock. And I generally, if they have any flaws, if they're broken at all, I still buy them and I part them out, and you'll make 3 times as much. 1970s toys, which means people a little bit older than me in their late 50s are your target there. And I think that's the target for most 55 to 65. Is that the nostalgic level where people are buying stuff? So then you can pretty much just look back 30 years or 40 years and figure out which items are going to come up.
Diamond Dave is asking for Pokey.
Diamante Dave.
Yeah.
Look at the little guy. Take him so his big head is right there. Look how shiny he is, everybody. Hi, you shiny boy, huh? He looks shinier from back here. Look at that guy. Did you just drink a bottle of vegetable oil or something?
Fish oil.
The fish oil? Look how shiny he is. I got a reflection off of him. Well, it looks like there was a lot of talk that I didn't keep up with. Not sure if it's vintage is here. Hello, Primo. I'm happy to report after following your hoard fracking recommendations, my sales are improving. Well, yay. That's good news. That is good news to hear. John says you would I won't read that just because I'm not going to raise any dander here. But I do respect both of your opinions, and really maybe both of you should come on to my show and I'll be the referee. I mean, you guys are both well spoken. I think you could probably say stuff. But what I would do is I would just blacken either one of you out. Like if you start going off the rails, I would just go bloop, time out. I would just time out people. Because I like the idea of having a debate and just timing people out. So you're like, bloop, all powerful. Primo is like, beep, you stop for a second. Okay, sorry. I'm excited about that, though. Can you please get that together? 2% of products, 6x6, just because you shout the loudest doesn't make you the most correct. I mean, that's true. Way behind. I know. Sorry. And there's a lot of this conversation here. Yes. Outdoor Worlds. I like you, Primo, but I will watch later because I see people pay to play in the chat that are making me sick. Merry Christmas and stay safe. Well, thank you very much. I'm sorry I couldn't keep up with the conversation. I would have liked to have interjected my thoughts into here, but didn't ease us into this. Okay, yeah. Life of resale feels like they have more of a cap of some sorts. Most days are typically consistent. Okay, did I read that before? But yes, it's definitely a throttle. Maybe it's a cap more than anything. Yeah. Where should I read? Okay, feast or famine says. Patricia says there are there's a difference between sales month after month dropping 50% after a calendar line of demarcation versus daily roller coaster feast or famine. Just pointing out. Yeah, that's true. They cut our sales in one day by 50%. I mean, they did that. And when I say one day, I literally mean, I think the timeline was June 30th to July 4th. So in that time, where when I look back at my numbers, I believe at the end of June, I came home and had to package 32 items that sold over the weekend. It was our biggest June on record. We turned off, and we had it on promoted listing, dynamic listings. So they were just spending any money they wanted to. Made our best June ever. That happened. Then when we came back and I had to ship out 32 items, I was like, oh, I need to put a hold on this for a second. I turned off promoted listings for like 2 days, 3 days maybe. In those 3 days, when I turned back on promoted listings after those 3 days, my sales never returned. Did I do that by turning it off, or was it specifically because Q2, they were trying to raise money for Q2, and at the end of June, they just turned us all off? I mean, I didn't have the bad news until June, while some people had it in April. Yes. I will get worse from, yes. So you guys are talking. And then you guys are talking.
Trina's wheelchair, she was saying 2 or 3 years ago, I would say that promoted listings did what it promised.
And maybe it did. You know, I turned it on. I went back and noticed that we had it on since it, like, for a couple years. I don't think I did not take any heed of promoted listings, not even when they went from 1% to 2%. So I remember when that happened sometime earlier this year. And if I look back 2 years, we're promoting. I don't remember doing that because it meant nothing. 1% meant nothing. So it wasn't until June, or whenever June, April, May, June. So that's probably what, okay, this is what happened. I'm just going to go ahead and fill in history here. No, I want to. I'm just going to do it. They introduced dynamic promotions, where you just sign up for it and then they adjust your rate every day, every minute, every whatever they want to. They take control over your money, put their hand into your wallet, and they just decide what to take. Just, yeah, this sounds good. 25%, whatever. We're taking it. So that's when I took notice to promoted listings. And then if that happened in April of this year, they made adjustments to the algorithm or to the throttlings mechanisms. When they introduced that, we didn't do it fully until June. So I'm guessing it came out somewhere the beginning of this year. And that may be why the throttling, everyone noticed it in April, and then we noticed it in June when we used it and then stopped it. And I did always think also because they had to come up with some way to make money this year. And so at the end of June, they just cranked up the dynamic listings. They literally needed more money. eBay Jamie needed more money. So he just went, oh, nobody will notice it if I go from 18% dynamic listing to 25%. No one will notice. That happened.
And then Patricia was saying that the other thing that makes PLS make sense is that eBay said that if you do PLS, they send your listing to Google. And no one on YouTube seems to talk about this. It's in the eBay blog as an announcement. So they had said,
Promoted listings. Wait, I wasn't totally listening. I was reading.
Patricia's.
Okay, where are we, Patricia? Let's find Patricia.
I don't know. It's
The other
right
thing that
there,
makes
yeah.
PLS make sense is that eBay said if you do promoted listings, they send your listing to Google.
And then down below, she then says, no one on YouTube seems to talk about this. It's in the eBay blog.
Well, no, I know that. Well, definitely. I mean, James spoke about it. If that's what, if we're talking about the same thing, James is currently doing experimentation with the offsite ads and seems to see some success from it. And that's because he has 50,000 items, and 5,000 of his items, if they're all hats and it's in that one category and that one thing, then targeted ads, pay-per-click, will work for you to a certain extent, depending on what your items are and everything. So that'll work. But if you're selling one-offs, pay-per-click promotions in any platform anywhere will not work. I hazard. No, they will not work for you.
Yeah, she's saying not offsite ads.
Not offsite ads. Okay. Okay, so like saying if you paid for ads on eBay, they would work for you. Well, they did. Well, so, and then that's the question is, they show you all these numbers. They give you all these intricate metrics to look at, and they present them in a way that makes it look like that it's working. But I don't necessarily. There's a few different reasons. I could definitely go into my beliefs on that, but I'm not ready to do that yet because, and mostly I don't want to say something that's going to be more confusing. So I have a whole video on the nuclear reset, step by step on the nuclear reset. I did that 2 weeks ago. I'm not going to release it, I don't think, because I don't think I can do a good enough job. Even if I do step by step, there's something that's going to screw somebody up. And if I screwed somebody up, that would ruin my day. It'll ruin their day more, but it'll ruin my day.
I just want to point out, Josh Fagan says, Primo, have you enabled super chats? I want to send you. And
What? Super chat?
yeah.
I have not. I
Said,
could do it.
I'm a hobbyist reseller and MCM collector. I've waited 15 years for real eBay talk and not the massage or bull.
Well, yeah, because I believe there's a million channels that can tell you what to buy. There's a million channels that can tell you what they sold. There's, and I can do that a little bit, but I think that mostly what I was looking for on eBay was somebody to technically commiserate with, but someone who, we thought before October, no matter what we did, we watched stuff on YouTube all the time. We're big YouTube enthusiasts, by the way. We've for many years played around with making YouTube videos and doing stuff. But what happened was, I think we just felt so isolated, so very isolated, and so up until having troubles being isolated, we were just YouTube sellers. Please. We were just eBay sellers. We sell stuff on eBay. We're just eBay. I didn't call myself a reseller. I never called myself a picker. I never really related to any of those, sort of terminologies for professional eBayers. It was just, we came from collectors. Like, I just like to collect stuff. So I just go out and buy stuff and just have the Indiana Jones warehouse, and it just goes on forever. That's what I would have. And I'd get a golf cart and I'd go look at section 10 on Thursday morning and have some coffee. And then, I guess I would think about letting people come in and charging admission, but maybe not. Maybe I would just hoard it all for myself, my giant hoard. And then, and this year made it impossible. So when we came on here, we didn't realize what a community we were actually part of. And that was what was really fun. Okay, you guys, there are so many words here.
Why don't you just scroll all the way to the bottom?
Okay. I'm really sorry. I don't want to leave anybody out. So.
My boring reseller life.
Oh, James is saying that's why I try not to ignore any issues.
He says doing YouTube, if you scroll up, doing YouTube video consistently, you will see who the good people are and who are not so good people. And pulling the wool.
I'm just trying to find his last one.
It's not that far above his last one.
doing YouTube videos consistently, you will see who the good people are and who the not so good people are, or who is pulling the wool over your eyes and are full of S. Yes, I mean, you can. You most certainly can when you are. I guess I'm as much into eBay currently as I am into YouTube, as far as making it a income stream and providing content and providing something that somebody wants. I mean, that's what we do on eBay. That's what we always did. I mean, when we started 24 years ago on eBay, the stuff that I bought, that some of it we still have, vintage computing and stuff, this is not stuff people wanted. It was cheap. It was dirt cheap. And I just piled it up with a shovel. That's why we still have so much of this crud. Thankfully. I mean, I'm happy for that. But, I was also, I think I was answering, I make half comments and then forget about them. Who was saying that Darth Thrifter was saying that it's not like as much of a risk to him because he's a full-time job. And to us, it's not as much of a risk because we don't have to buy. Currently, I'm guesstimating 3 years out, we don't have to buy anything, that we have that much hoard to frack. And we have high sell-through rate items too. It's just that I like to sell those. At least our whole history has been list as much as you can the first 9 months of the year, which in the summer means taking vacations, doing, and having a life. And then at the last 3 months of the year, then we list high sell-through, like vintage computing items and stuff, where people tend to be more emotional about them, taking advantage of the season and pay a little bit more, that whole bit. So that's been like what we have done. Oh, let's see. Stoic says, I think of myself as an advanced crazy person. Does that count? Yeah, any sort of advanced is good. Not sure if it's vintage great minds think alike. I'm sorry that I don't get to enjoy these funny quips that I can't connect to anything because my brain is talking. I can tell Primo is a pacifist. He didn't invite all of this bickering. I will stop rocking the boat in 2024. People's feelings get hurt. To be honest with you, I'm not a pacifist. I like a good battle, but I also, in the sense that we're all here, I don't think it's productive to the point that we're all experiencing a level, not normalcy. So I most certainly don't think that, fighting between each other with people who are trying to do the best they can, which, by the way, I think both John, Flippin' Ain't Easy, and Jack, who are the center of this conversation here, are both doing the best they can and trying to figure out ways to make things work. There's differences in personalities, but no, I'll kick your ass. I'll kick your ass real good if you need me to, Biff. So no, I'm not a pacifist, but I'm definitely not. I'm all about trying to.
You're a happy person.
I'm a happy person, and I try to do my best to calm the waters. I'm an old man now. I don't need to, but yeah, I'll punch back. So let's see. The ones I watch for various reasons, and here's Jack's list. I think this is valuable. Boring Reseller Life, which is James. Hey for Ourselves, Jeff. Stoic Reseller, which is Kevin. Arena Vision. Don't know Arena Vision. Gonna write that down. I feel like he might have mentioned that to us, but I have to go look at it. Primo Chemo. What? Are you all saying that Primo Chemo is your favorite YouTube channel? Thank you. Please subscribe. And then wait, there was one more. We can't. Son of a gun. Oh, and Polish Pete. And his name is Pete. It's in his name. Yeah, all those people that you named, I think are, so basically all those people are, except for Arena Vision, I don't know. We're talking about real life people sharing real life eBay things, as opposed to some other people, maybe some more polished YouTubers who have been here longer, who are looking for more information, to like maybe more educational, maybe more focused content, while the people that you're naming here are speaking off, speaking from a I don't know, off the cuff always sounds wrong, but they're speaking from a place of knowledge, but also a place of not, I'm not polished. I don't even know what I'm talking about half the time, but I'm telling you, coming from sort of an emotional place, I'm telling you how I feel, what I plan to do, everything. It's not polished. And I think there's a great appreciation for that. Well, hopefully that's what we are, but I'm just saying the content that we're putting out is freeform. So it's not, and in this case, live. James is not live. Am I the only one who goes live? Yes. I would probably benefit from not being live, because I just have a lot of wasted words. I just talk a lot. But I think that that it's the wave 3. I like to call it wave 3. So you had the people like, oh my gosh, I sold everything for $1 million. That's wave 1 YouTubers. Then you have people come in that it's like, I'm going to build a business off YouTube. Here's how to build the business off YouTube. Sell stuff you don't like and sell it, and then you'll make money. Perfectly fine. Now, wave 3 is, I got a way to do eBay. I like the way I do eBay. I'm trying to figure out a way to navigate the current eBay situation. That's what I'm into too, is wave 3 people. And all those people on your list are awesome. And I very much like John, Flipping Ain't Easy. He's not in your list, and I'm not questioning why, but he's more polished. So he has a lot more time on YouTube. So he's had to, sort of make his stuff more polished. But he does lives, and I really appreciate people who do lives, because then you can really sort of, I don't necessarily think arguments are best on a live, unless you're talking face to face, because typing versus talking, that's difficult. So I said those words. And then Josh Fagan says, Primo, have you ever enabled super chats? I am going to figure out how to do that, but I don't think I can do that right this second. Sure, I'll do that. We've never made a single dollar on YouTube any way. So I think we might be able to do that already. Super chats. I think we can. I'll turn it on for next time. And I appreciate that. Thank you very much for even suggesting that it's worth a super chat. But I thank you very much. Massage or bolos. It is so funny though. Okay, so now I've sort of pulled that together. And then Patricia despises false humility. I hope we're not. Bridget, she's fake though. Look at her back there, all faked out. She's a faker. Not all the content is from me, but I respect the authenticity of James. That's Trina's wheelchair saying that. Wait. Where's... Oh, Lady Ladybug is here. Did we say hi? Aloha. Oh, wait a minute. So, wait, did you have a spelling error in your name? Because I swear it was Lady Aldybug the other day. I could totally be out of my mind. But I'm seeing it and I'm going, was it Lady Aldybug? I don't know. Patricia says, I don't have to agree to watch them, but I do have to respect them and learn something. Yes, absolutely. Trina's wheelchairs, that's the beauty of being human, in that it's left of this society. And what's left of this society is you get to choose. And that's what's beautiful. So first of all, that's what's beautiful about eBay, is they're tightening the reins on us. It's gross, but you still get to do what you want. You get to sell what you want. You kind of get to sell it how you want, but you do have to be a good seller, you guys. You do have to be a good seller. You do have to ship promptly and do everything right and not lie and all those things. So that's never going to escape. But it is still beautiful that you get to make your own store and choose your own items in the store and stuff. And you don't have to just sell what's high sell-through rate items. You can design your own thing. That's what I think is lovely. And YouTube allows you to do the same thing this way, this kind of a thing. But the girl that Tekken Sports interviewed may have benefited. That is, she's good. She's back from burnout. She's in Australia. I'm sorry. I almost did. Wait, hold on. I'm gonna do it. But that's not a knife. I see you've played knifey spoony before. That's just funny.
Zach is asking, do you know of anything that eBay is doing that will help us next year?
No, I don't know. What?
Read it out loud. I don't know.
Let me get to that. Jack says, yeah, my mechanic and I had to talk about eBay parts. He did a search for parts. Everything showed up at $80. Took him half an hour to find the part at $45. Interesting. Because everybody's using the same pre-filled item-specific things, maybe. The same promos. Primo, I keep changing it. I can't decide what the name should be. Okay, well, I'm glad I noticed it, but Ladybug sounds good. Primo, so do you know anything that I'm not aware of anything coming up. John's My Boring Reseller Life does believe that he's interpreting John from My Boring Reseller Life is interpreting I'm sorry. Hold on. Back up. Rip. John from Flipping Ain't Easy was saying that he was interpreting a note from that Josh Galt got from a monthly call. By the way, guys, go sign up for the YouTube channel on eBay. There is some good stuff in there. You're not going to necessarily learn anything important about selling stuff, but you're going to kind of see where their brains are at. Go sign up for the eBay channel on YouTube and watch their videos. You can definitely see where their head is at. And it's young. It's skewing very young, I think. What was I saying? Oh, John was saying that he thought that they said that they knew search was broken and they were going to be working on that in 2024. Bye, dog. He doesn't like sneezing. Does not appreciate sneezing. I don't know if I believe, I don't need to believe that or not believe it, but search is messed up. So it would make sense that they're that they're going to tackle that after Q4. Thank you. Instead of trying to do that in the middle of Q4. We'll see what that amounts to, but that's the only thing I've heard about anything. Otherwise, it's really up to us to figure out if we found our floor and how to start increasing from that. So they just knocked the feet out or legs out from underneath us. James says he is going to talk a little bit about that in today's video, also searching and trying whether or not eBay is going to provide anything in 2024. So everybody go check out James's video once I'm done here, which should be pretty soon because it's been an hour and a half. The Australian bookseller is very beloved by the community, but she also pretends like she's more successful than she really is. She makes banks from her views through YouTube, I'm assuming. Good for her. And that's just it. It's, no, you shouldn't be I mean, I have a hard time when people drive in their Lamborghinis when they're selling on eBay. That's ridiculous. But I had a Rolls Royce. I drive a Mercedes. I mean, eBay provided a pretty darn good, lifestyle for us, but not a Lamborghini lifestyle. I don't think you can. What does Tekken Sports drive? I just have a feeling like he's #1 reseller on in clothing there. There's no way he's driving a Lamborghini. He's got like maybe some sort of maybe a Sprinter. We had a Sprinter once. Those are nice cars. You
see, James said how he was looking for a Stetson hat, and every hat but a Stetson.
Oh, really? And that's because you're using a brand name, and that's a style of hat. So it both is a brand and a style. So that's interesting.
Oh, Josh Galt's here.
Hello, Josh. Welcome to the party. Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Merry Christmas to you. And Happy New Year. You got like 7 more days of freedom. 6 more days of freedom. I wonder if you'll actually come back to 1 o'clock in the afternoon. You've probably really been enjoying not doing videos. I mean, it's great to do them too, but it must be nice just like, oh my gosh, I don't have to do a video today. Let's see. Do not down my Porsche. No, of course. You're allowed to have nice stuff. And eBay should provide good stuff if you're working hard. I mean, they do provide. What's up? Oh, he wants a Lambo? Nobody needs a Lambo. Come on. Unless you want, if you're getting a Countach, if you're going to get like a 1984 Countach, I'm into that. That's okay. You can have that. I used to, in fact, one of the YouTube channels we wanted to start, which we didn't because it's just all too hard. But one of my characters is the mid-century millionaire. And that's sort of about collecting and about being on eBay and about buying all these awesome things from the 70s, 80s that you had to be a millionaire to own back then. But sitting here in 2023, you can have a Rolls Royce. It only costs 15 grand. Lamborghini is still going to set you back. Like, I don't know. I think even the 1980s ones are 300 grand now because they're quite square cars. Square cars are becoming very collectible. So, buy yourself a square car right now. Bolo. Yeah, anything from the 80s that's square. Yeah, we were talking about tech and what kind of car he drives. I mean, it's maybe a Prius. I'm just trying to think. That doesn't hold enough stuff. He has to have room to put stuff in, but it's a very practical car, I'm sure. He's very low in conspicuous consumption. And you can tell that by his videos. I mean, he is telling you knowledge. He is telling you like pretty focused knowledge. And he doesn't have a thing in the background. It's just white walls, a corner, and his head. I am like the opposite, I'm guessing. Tech is also full of cap. I assume you meant to have an R in there. Well, nobody's as successful as... So if I'm trying to set forth a vision on YouTube, I don't know what am I setting forth here? I know we talk about that I had to sell the Rolls Royce. No, we're not successful. We made 5 figures on, let's say we just made 5 figures on eBay and they cut us in half to half of 5 figures. That's that's not a lot. 5 figures is 10 grand. And then half of that is, so yeah, 20 figures. We made 20 figures on eBay. So, yeah, but we don't have, which is in our benefit. James has the same situation, I think. We're not buying, we're not paying for anything that we're pulling out of our storages and so forth. So we don't have any, could you say that we have a cost of goods sold? I have no idea what they are. It was purchased so long ago that there's no more cost of goods sold. We don't have to output to input money currently. And we probably have 3 more years of that, I would say. Patricia has an 88 Jeep Wagoneer. Now that's I'm trying to think. So that's the square one. That's a square one, right? Because they switched them to, well, the Wagoneer came in both sides. So you had the big ones from the 70s with the orange shag carpet, and then they switched to the smaller body style square. And we had a Cherokee, but it wasn't a Wagoneer, it was a Cherokee that was that square body style, and it had 2 doors. And then we had a couple of Grand Cherokees at one point. All paid for by eBay, by the way. So just thank you, eBay. Yeah, the 85 Countach. That's been in a couple like heavy metal videos and stuff. That Countach that's the best one. He drives a Datsun or a Pinto. I wouldn't surprise me if he's cruising around in a Pinto. That would be awesome. A man of the people. Yeah, Tech drives a Honda. He drives a sensible vehicle, that's for sure. USPS is the
Oh, she's talking about Jack suggested that she put
Oh yeah.
like a info for her other platform she's
Yeah,
selling.
Jack has promoted that. I mean, I know that it's
But
technically illegal, but
right, the USPS they are really strict on
if they open your package, I mean, how many they have millions of packages to open, they would have to catch you. But with that said, if you're skirting the line and you get caught, then I guess I guess what did we discuss was the problem with that is that it could potentially show up at your customer with postage due, and that would make for an unhappy customer. I think that was the thing. So if they open it, they find you got advertising, then they send it on, but they switch it to Ground Advantage or something and go to the recipient for postage due. I think that's what we said. I don't know. Jack says that he uses a valet in the best hotel in Utah. All valet parking. I did the numbers and figured out it was 330,000 cars a year. Wow. Moronic Pest says he has multiple Porsches, Lambos, Rolls, and Ferraris, all toys. I'm just fine with that. Yes, they are all toy cars. Yes. Well, I mean, of course. They have, I mean, I had my cars, everything. Oh, he does the vintage toys, of course. I was talking about all of my adult desires, whatever, like to own arcade machines, pinball machines, cars, and everything. Those all came from being a kid and watching movies in the in the 70s and 80s. So I have a little green 1974 green Porsche up there, 911. I still need that. I haven't gotten it. It has to be in that exact green, but it's just a toy car that I will get eventually. Maybe if eBay ever comes back. Let's see. Not sure if it's vintage. I like to drive my Canyonero when doing the thrift route. I see people driving. I mean, yes, I did used to drive the Rolls to garage sales and stuff. That was always fun. But in Vermont, it's more like, I mean, it's a great conversation starter with people, and it's gotten me cool stuff. Because when people see you driving a cool car, they're like, especially a vintage car, they want to talk to you about it, and then they're like, then you're like, hey, yeah, I'm a collector. I like to buy, things. I have this big pocket full of money. This is not blubber all over me. This is cash. I'm cash strapped. It's a totally different meaning. And then they like to sell you stuff. Well, I never had my body strapped with cash. And Patricia has the woody sides. Nice. I can totally picture your car. And I know what the seat material looks like and everything. I mean, a great car. That was the one that we had one that had been through a flood, which we didn't technically know about. And it kept like all of a sudden would just stop moving. It would just start misfiring. So we got another Jeep and then another one, and they all had problems, but those old 80s ones were pretty darn solid. When you make money off YouTube and Patreon in the six figures, the cost of hiring someone to maintain an eBay store is minimal. Well, that's true, but the YouTube, I'm guessing that, that's just time. So you get paid for your time. eBay, though, I mean, I don't know if I could even trust anybody to run our store. I mean, I hired her permanently, right? So I just have to train her better. But I don't. Yeah, I mean, but you can do that. I gave you half the store. Now do it all. Do 100% of it. But yes, but when you make six figures off of eBay, that's baloney pony. So I mean, you can make, I would say, even at $200,000 eBay sales, in order to make that, I mean, it's probably half cost of goods sold. Maybe a little less. But if you're talking about 20% to eBay at least, if you want to sell things quickly, you're probably going to promote. You're at 25%. So you bought the goods for 25%, so 50%, and then you got to pay taxes. So then take out another 20. So you're only keeping out 200,000. You're only keeping 30%, or maybe probably more. I'm trying to think of what we kept out of it. I know. It's just all math. And we got to do taxes again. No. Why? Why? Well, I've talked for an hour and a half. Is that enough for you guys? Trina's Will says, love, I'm so busy, but I just wanted to pop in and say hi, act like they're not scrolling, reading, and seeing the entire thing. Well, that's okay. I mean, maybe they only have a moment to actually type, but taking the time out to type I'm thankful for that, because it's hard. I mean, half of my messages that I send to people, I had like my best friend sending me messages over the weekend, and I'm just answering him in my mind, and he didn't get the messages. So he says something like, say, hey, I'm over at the place. You want to come get Mexican food or something? And I'm like, yeah, I totally want to do that. I didn't type to him. And he's like, why didn't you get back to me? I was at the Mexican place. I was like, I thought I did. I thought it. I just forgot to type it out and press send. So I do appreciate taking the time out and saying hi. And I wish we could have welcomed John with, honestly, with more. And this is not being a pacifist. I just wish we could welcome everyone with open arms. And then when things start to get a little off the rails, we could maybe bring it back to a normal place, because ultimately we're all trying to get to the same place here, which is most of us, I assume, are trying to get good eBay sales. And that's what we're all working towards the same goal. Josh says the YouTube reseller model is bringing your wife and kids into the shed and having people establish Truman Show-esque relationships with you while you sell $12.99 keychains. I assume you're talking about the Commonwealth picker. This would be a fun game to everyone just say what annoys them about eBay YouTubers, and we try to guess who you're talking about. But I mean, we do what we can, right? I mean, he's kind of, I got to say that there's James, if you're still here, My Boring Reseller Life, he said it so well. He said it, I don't mind if people come and go as subscribers to my channel. Maybe they've outgrown me and they need something different. And that's what makes YouTube so beautiful, is that you can go find people that are in your exact place right now. And that, and then that's what does it for you. So, that's why people have different followings, of course. But that's why sometimes I want to hear John talk with his wife live. I like that. I like to sort of hear that. She likes it too. You hear her cackling in the background, and I don't even know what they said, but it was something funny. You got to like that.
Darth Thrifter said, I start watching new resellers on YouTube every 3 months. Their new perspective is nice since everyone gets stuck in what gets the most views eventually. Right, because as soon as you get, we're not quite there yet. We need 1,000 subscribers, but we're only like 28 away or something. So if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, so then we can worry about subscribers and give you lame content too. Jeff says, thanks, I enjoyed listening.
Thank you, Jeff. Welcome and goodbye. Because we got to go. That's why. James said, well, someone is trying to get more YouTube money than eBay sales. I mean, wouldn't we all love that? I love a good revenue stream. There's nothing that makes me happier than a revenue stream. I don't want it to be my entire revenue. I just want a lot of little streams. And I guess we got a little lax with eBay, because boy, when they smacked us upside the head in June, sometimes April, some people, it really did throw us for a loop. It's created all this. So thank you. What's sad are a lot of people who try to be an imitation of another. Hey, Froze here. Hey, Froze here. Just for time for us to say thank you all for joining us. This has been a wonderful hour and 44 minutes talking. Everyone has shown up. YouTube is easier to scale. There's no doubt about that. If I can get up above the 1,000 marks and we start getting money, I'm going to show you some real lame crap videos. But the thing is that we're still going to do lives. I think lives are the most fun anyway. So But we have some videos ready to go. So aloha, everybody. And thank you all for joining us. And wait, hold on. Hey, Froze, are you down for tomorrow? I don't want to put you on the spot, but if you're down, we'll do it at 1:00. We will sit here. Where's my ding, 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 ding. Hey, you were made for live. Let's do next week. Okay, so Hey Froze will not be here tomorrow, but I guess I will be because I'm built for lives. So we'll see you tomorrow at 1:00. All right? Aloha. Have a great day. Have great sales.